Hey guys, welcome back to your daily. So today we're going to talk about honoring your word. So let me read this and then we'll talk about it. Do your best to honor your yes. Have you ever had someone ditch you because something better came up? You find out later that this person was somewhere else, not homesick like they told you, because people post everything on Facebook. This has happened to me a few times, and I'll be honest, I've done it before in the past. I've made a commitment to somebody and then something better came up and I canceled my original plans. Oh, wretched man that I am. I have not done anything like this in about 20 years because I've matured in the Lord, but the temptation is still there from time to time. I taught my children from an early age to honor their word and commitments. When my daughter was in junior high, she made plans with one friend, and then another friend invited her to a way more fun outing, and we had this talk right here. She did the honorable thing and she kept her word. Jesus tells us in Matthew 5:37, let your yes be yes and your no be no. Anything more than that comes from the evil one. In simple terms, keep your word and honor your vows, at least to the best of your ability. It is better to not make a vow than to make a vow and break it. Do unexpected things come up? Sure, of course they do. Obviously, you might have to cancel plans for a sickness or a death, a wedding, or another important occasion. Please do not lose sight of what Jesus is teaching. Do your best to honor your yes. The truth is, when you don't honor your word, it erodes trust, especially if they find out you canceled on them for more exciting plans. If they cannot trust your word, they cannot trust you. And yes, we usually end up lying about why we couldn't come. Lying comes from the evil one. Are you really going to tell the truth? Are you really going to tell them that a better option became available? Probably not. You would wound their spirit very deeply. Here's a tip. Just don't give a yes or a no unless you know that you can honor that word. People should be able to trust that you will do what you said you would do. This is called integrity. Proverbs 10:9, he who walks with integrity walks securely, but he who perverts his ways will become known. Proverbs 19:1, better is the poor who walks in his integrity than one who is perverse in his lips and is a fool. So, we've been going through the book of Proverbs right now, and Proverbs actually talks a lot about the words of our mouth, okay? And God hates lying, he hates division and slander. He does not like these things very much so. So I like this proverb here where he says, better is the poor, right? So better is that poor man who walks his integrity than one who is perverse in his lips and is a fool. So somebody that's perverse in their lips would be just somebody that just shoots out the mouth all the time. So not necessarily a liar as much as somebody that just shoots out the mouth. I mean, it can include lying. Perverse, that word perverse can include a lot of different things. So it can include lying, but the gist of this proverb right here is that walking in integrity, and that means, right, is that your actions and words, or your words line up with your actions line up with your words, right? And so that includes, if you say you're going to be somewhere, if you say you're going to do something, and a man who walks in integrity, he will make a way to fulfill that yes. He'll find a way to do it. Even if something comes up, he'll find a way to do it. This is why the scripture says, right? Jesus said, anything more than yes or no is evil. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. So we have to do our best to honor our yes. Now, one of the places that I was thinking about in this, right, is that, do you guys get these Facebook invites? For events, Facebook events, invites. I don't often see those because I'm not a great Facebooker. I miss a lot of that stuff You have to go to your, on Facebook, you got to go to a certain place to look at all of your, everything that's popped up, right? I can't think of the word of it right now. Anyways, that's where those things are. And oftentimes I don't check that. So I miss a lot of invites. I miss a lot of events. I just don't see things. But I know that those things are on there, and people like the Facebook invite. Now, if you come to me and ask me, you'll probably get a better answer from me. Okay, so if you do a Facebook event, chances are I don't see it. And if I do see it, then I forget about it. I'm just not good at that stuff. But I see this a lot, right? Is that people will automatically respond to these things. Yeah, we'll be there, we'll be there, we'll be there. But then they can't fulfill that obligation if something else comes up. Now, this is a small thing, right? But folks, we have to be people of integrity. We have to be people that honor our word. And so even in something small like that, if you're not sure that you can be there, click on the maybe. That there's a maybe there, right? And the maybe says, I'm not sure my plans right now. I have, something else in the works. Right? If you're not sure, just click maybe. Or if you don't really want to go, just click maybe. Don't say yes, and don't say no, right? Because let your no be no and your yes be yes. Now are there exceptions? Absolutely, guys. Can we use common sense? And I don't, it's so funny, you put out these things and people just come up with the craziest things. And I'm like, can we have some common sense? Can we have some common sense? If you get sick, yes, don't go. Even if you said yes, don't go. Don't go get everybody sick. Say, I'm sorry, I can't go. I'm sick. If a wedding comes up, we made, last year, we made plans with some people the day after my son got married. The day after he got married, okay? Now, at the time we made the plans, my son had no plans of getting married because we made it months and months in advance. We made these plans because it had to do with airline flights and going to visit somebody and all this sort of stuff, okay? So at the time we made the plans, we had nothing on our calendar at all. So what ended up happening is that we're just like, you know what? We had already made these plans. We're just going to stick to it. Now, was it hard? Yeah. Now, but here's the other thing. Did we have to do that? Not necessarily, right? Because we just had, for weeks, if you ever done a wedding, there's lots of wedding stuff going on. It was the day after my son's wedding, and there were still people at my house. There were still family members at my house. So, we could have said, you know what? This isn't going to work. But there was already airplane tickets involved. There was, and you can't always get a refund on that. So there was extenuating circumstances. But my husband and I said, you know what? We made the plans. We need to honor our word in this. We're just going to go ahead and go through with it. And was it hard? Yeah, it was hard. But we wanted to honor our word in that. Okay, so that's just one example. Sometimes it's hard to honor your word, especially if you make plans way far in advance. You can't do it, right? Are there reasons to not honor your word? Sure. Like I said, sickness, wedding, death, unexpected things happen all the time. When unexpected things happen, yes, come on, use common sense. I would hate to post a video like this and have somebody say, I really felt like I shouldn't marry this person, but you said I needed to honor my word and I had told them yes. And I'm like, come on. If someone asked you to marry him and you said yes, then you realize a couple of weeks later, you're like, what am I doing? I should not be marrying this person. We're not equally yoked, or for whatever. Maybe you come to your senses. By all means, cut it off. Don't go forth down that. Use common sense, people, okay? But we need to be people that walk with integrity, that our yes is yes and our no is no. And so this is what Christ is saying. If you read that whole scripture there, Jesus is telling them, he said, don't swear by heaven or swear by earth. He says, don't make an oath and say, I swear to you, I will do this. Either yes or no. That's what he's saying. Don't just, I swear to you, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I promise you, I'm going to do that. Don't do that. It's either yes or no. And simply abide by that. That's what he's saying. Let it be yes or let it be no. And I do want to tell you this. No is a grace word. It is okay to say no. Please use it more often. Instead of lying to people or trying to cover up, just say no. If you can't do it, or maybe you just don't want to do it, maybe you need, for whatever reason, you just, it's just too much right now. You don't want to add something else on to say no, and leave it at that simple no. Simply yes, simply no. And you don't have to tag on a reason, right? Everybody feels like they have to tag on a reason. You don't have to tag on a reason. Your yes is yes and your no is no. Just let it be. And if someone says, why not? Just say, well, I have reasons that I don't really want to share with you, but I'm just going to say no right now. Sorry. No. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to give it a reason. You don't have to tag on anything. Okay? Yes, a simple yes, simple no, and then honor it. All right. Use common sense, people. Common sense. Wisdom. Wisdom and discernment. All right, that's my word for today. Hopefully you guys got something out of this. Thanks for joining me. As always, you can like or share or send me a comment. Crystal@faithandministry.com. See you next time.